Guys, I saw this at the store and I love Bible illustrations, so I had to have it. 50 most influential figures of the Bible. So, in National Geographic's opinion, in this magazine's opinion, these are the 50 most influential figures of the Bible. So, here is Noah. So, I wrote some little notes. Noah, Genesis 5:29. God flooded the earth, and only Noah and his family and two of each animal survived in an ark, a boat. So Noah was an influential leader. God flooded the earth, and only Noah and his family and two of each animal survived in an ark or a boat. So let's go through here. Here's a picture of Jesus. Jesus. Here's a picture of Moses holding the Ten Commandments. So this is the beginning of the Bible. Adam and Eve. Naked ant people. And all kinds of animals here living together. And then Adam and Eve fell. So they disobeyed God. And their sons were Cain and Abel. Adam and Eve and their sons Cain and Abel was in Genesis 4:3. Cain was jealous of Abel, and Cain slew and killed Abel. I wrote that out. Adam and Eve and their sons Cain and Abel, Genesis 4:3. Cain slew Abel. I have a feeling that Abel didn't fight back too much, but there's Noah's Ark. Abraham and Sarah. So I'll show the picture first and then show you my words. Abraham and Sarah, Genesis 12:1. The angel told Abraham, he's very old and his wife Sarah is very old. The angel told Abraham that his wife was going to have a baby. She laughed because she was too old to have a baby. So there she is, eavesdropping, looking in on them. And she laughed. I think Sarah means laughter or something like that. Abraham and Sarah in Genesis 12:1. The angel told Abraham that his wife was going to have a baby. She laughed because she was too old to have a baby. Abraham and Sarah, patriarch and matriarch. So they did have a baby. They had Isaac. Abraham and Sarah had Isaac. God told Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, but stopped him at the last minute. So I think an angel stopped him. So this is about faith and giving everything to God. Abraham and Sarah had Isaac. God told Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, but stopped him at the last minute. Wait, don't kill Isaac. Do we give everything to God? And I think there was a sheep. So they grabbed a sheep over here in the bush or the corner, and they killed the sheep instead of Isaac. So here's some maps of Israel. Hagar and Ishmael. So Abraham had a wife or concubine and had a son named Ishmael. There were troubles with Sarah. Sarah got jealous, and Hagar and Ishmael had to leave. So they're stuck in the desert, no water, and an angel helped them in the desert. And I think they called it the God who sees. They call this desert the God who sees. So here's Hagar and Ishmael. Abraham's girlfriend or concubine had Ishmael. There were troubles with Sarah, the matriarch, the number one wife of Abraham, was jealous, and they left. An angel or God helped them in the desert. And I almost spelled that with two S's, desert, but this is the angel helped them in the desert. And I believe the desert is called the God who sees. So here is Hagar and Ishmael about to die, but God helps them, gives them water. God is the one who sees us. Okay, Isaac and Rebekah. So Isaac was not sacrificed. He went on to get married. A servant looked for a wife for Rebekah, for Isaac, and found Rebekah getting water. And I think he said, "Can I have water?" And the woman that he is looking for would answer, "Yes, and for your camels too." So she's the one. I don't know. Where's the camels? I don't know where the camel is in this picture. Isaac and Rebekah. A servant looked for a wife for Isaac and found Rebekah getting water. "Can I have water?" he asked. Something like that. I'm not sure exactly. She said, "Yes, and for your camels too." And that meant that she's the one. Okay, I am about to run out of room, I think. Let's see if we can read one more. These are all the Old Testament patriarchs there. Jacob and his sons. So Jacob is the father. So is that Jacob and Rebekah? Isaac and Rebekah had Jacob and Esau. Jacob had 12 sons, who are the 12 tribes of Israel. And who is this? This is Jacob and Rachel. Got married and had Joseph, I believe. Joseph and Benjamin. And another wife had 10 more of the brothers, and maybe a sister too. So here are my notes. Jacob and 12 sons are the 12 sons of Israel. 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob and Esau are brothers, twins, and were always fighting. But here's a picture of them making up. So they separated, had their own families, and then got together. And did they still keep fighting? No, I think they made up. And we'll keep going. Joseph in Egypt. So here's Egypt, northern Africa. And is this Joseph? I guess this is Joseph. And painted in around the 1900s. Looking very Egyptian. So Joseph was one of the 12 brothers, 12 sons. He was a special spoiled son of Jacob, from his favorite wife, Rachel. Jacob and Rachel, right? Let's look. Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Rachel. Esau and Jacob. And then they had Joseph, who was a special son. He was kind of spoiled, given a lot, got special love. Joseph was a special spoiled son of Jacob. He got a special coat, and his brothers were very jealous, sold him off as a slave in Egypt. So even though Joseph was sold as a slave in Egypt, he still succeeded with the Lord. So God, even though he's a prisoner, he was able to interpret dreams, and God helped him to get promoted and help Pharaoh during a drought. So even though these bad times happened in Egypt, God used Joseph and helped him to succeed even in the bad times. So here's Moses. So God can use the bad times for us. Here's Moses taking off his shoes. Moses was raised by Egyptians and fled. He killed somebody and escaped. Started quarreling with the Pharaoh and the Egyptians. He became a Jewish leader. He was Jewish. And God spoke to him through a burning bush. So This is the burning bush, and said to take off his shoes. It was holy ground. And I believe Moses was a shepherd as well. So Moses was raised by Egyptians and fled, became a Jewish leader, and God spoke to him through a burning bush. Moses was told to take off his shoes on holy ground and talk to God. Joseph was also adopted. Here's a nice illustration of Pharaoh's daughter found him in a basket in a river in the water. Her handmaidens, I believe, her maidservants found him in the water, and Pharaoh's daughter adopted him. But then he grew up and then left the Egyptian life and embraced his Judaism, became a Jewish leader, and said, let the Jewish people go. So this is Aaron. So Moses and Aaron, his brother Aaron, would go and back, or sent back to talk to Pharaoh and say, let my people go. Showed a lot of miracles, like sticks turning into snakes. And there were about 10 plagues and problems. And Pharaoh would not let the people go, the Jewish people go. So Aaron was Moses' brother. Moses felt unable to speak to Pharaoh. I believe he had a stutter. Moses felt unable to speak to Pharaoh to let my people go. Aaron was Moses' spokesman and helper and brother. So even though we feel weak, like Moses, God still uses us. So Aaron is Moses' brother. Moses felt unable to speak to Pharaoh and say, let my people go. So Aaron helped him and was the spokesman and helper. I believe this is where Moses met his wife, his future wife, Zipporah. They probably did not have blonde hair, probably black hair. Jewish people. Zipporah, and Jethro was her father who would give advice to Moses. That's a good, I don't know what verse that is. Maybe Exodus 18:20. Jethro gave good advice to Moses about how to live in the desert and not get too tired and work too hard. How to delegate and have other people do jobs and help out. Okay, this is Pharaoh, a bad guy. Pharaoh. So there were many plagues against Pharaoh in Egypt because God wanted the Jewish people released, and sent plagues for Pharaoh to let the people go. And one of the plagues was the firstborn son would die. So Pharaoh, leader of Egypt, did not want to let the people of Moses go. So God caused plagues and the death of the firstborn sons of Egypt. Finally, Pharaoh let the Jews go. But he kept pursuing them. And they parted the waters, the Red Sea. There's no picture of that. God parting the Red Sea. So, talk about Joshua next. God bless.